How's it going, guys? Brian back again with another pickup video. I know it's been a few weeks since I've been able to do one of these, except for that small PlayStation 2 lot I picked up. Yesterday, I was actually in Manchester, Connecticut, meeting up at a friend's house, then going over to another person's house, and following that up with a trade event over at Grid Games in Manchester. Fantastic store. I'll go more into details with that in just a bit. So the first stop I made while I was down there, I was able to actually trade off a copy of Crash Bandicoot on PlayStation 1 to a friend who needed it. I ended up trading that for 3 NES games that helped me get to cartridge, I think, number 465 for my unique titles. Grabbed Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego. Grabbed Heavy Barrel. And last is Indiana Jones, and I believe it's the Temple of Doom. 3 games I didn't have, so it's really cool to pick those up. After I did that, drove a few miles down the road to another person's house, and I was able to see probably the most amazing collection I've ever seen in person. Don't want to go into too much details, but it was insane. The variety, whether it's American games to the Japanese titles, all different consoles from like Neo Geo, Nintendo, and PlayStation, and games I never thought I'd actually see in person. It was a fantastic time. It was absolutely insane. Like, it blew my mind, the collection this person had. And I was able to actually meet a bundle of people while I was there as well, and it was cool to follow them through over at Grid Games and get to actually know them more in person. So like I said, after we left there, I was able to we went over to Grid Games for their trade event. I think it's their second trade event they've done. I don't know how often they do these, but it was actually a really cool time. So Grid Games is a small store, or smallish kind of store. Actually, not even for a retro game store, it really wasn't that small. It's right in Manchester. They carry anything from trading cards and any games from, I believe, up to Master System and NES up to like Xbox One, Wii U, and PS4. Their variety is really cool, like amazing. The store owner is a really cool guy. And the fact that they host these trade events is really neat as well. It's actually the first time I've ever been to a trade event like this. Something actually I've been like, I was hoping for, like, more so in the community, and the scene at a place that actually did this is really awesome. So while I went there, I just set up my table. I brought a bunch of Master System duplicates, Sega duplicates, NES games that are also duplicates, a bunch of Game Boy games I didn't need, and other odds and ends, like tons of just boxes and manuals for Super Nintendo and NES, which I was able to get rid of most of the ones I had, because I'm not a completionist. I don't complete my games like that unless it's Genesis or Master System. For NES and Super Nintendo and N64, I don't care to. So it's really cool getting rid of a bunch of those, and I'm gonna go over my trades with you guys. So the first thing I got rid of was a copy of Rockin' Ball. I was able to grab this really cool World of Warcraft thermos from the trading card game. You guys know I'm a huge Blizzard fan, and a box and manual that I was able to keep the game from. I just traded for that. Don't know the value in the box, didn't really care, but is able to help a collector who does complete his games upgrade a box that he currently had for his set. After that, I was able to trade off this right here. I was Terminator 1 on NES. I've had it sitting on my shelf as a duplicate for a while. Was able to trade to, I think his name is Dan. He's the guy who I think runs Retro World Expo, or is a huge part of it. Gave him that and $5. He was able to give me Phantasy Star 2 as well as a cartridge for it. This manual actually right here is going to complete my second copy of Phantasy Star 2 for Genesis, and I'll have just a third loose cartridge hanging out. After that, I traded off a few more boxes to one person and did another trade with them after that. The first few boxes I traded off, I think it was like Bionic Commando, maybe one or two others. Got these two really cool like NES controls that have the Nintendo Power decals on them. I absolutely love these things when I first saw them in person. They're super 80s looking, and they're freaking... These controls feel great. I'm actually going to use these instead with my current setup as opposed to the ones I've currently had. After that, I got rid of a few more boxes, like I keep saying, and ended up trading some boxes. My Tag Team Wrestling box and manual, so I still kept the game for it, so I still have that in the end. But I was able to trade off like a few others. I grabbed what he had for NES games: RBI Baseball, my favorite baseball game, Blades of Steel, 1942, Ivan Ironman Stewart's Super Off-Road, and Super Mario Bros. A Duck Hunt. I'm actually going to be trying to use these soon to try to make retro pies for friends, just using this. I keep seeing them on YouTube a lot, and I definitely like to try it out for the people who aren't able to get like the NES Classics and kind of want their own little Raspberry Pi / Nintendo system for their living room. I think that'd be really cool gifts going forward for friends. Last thing I actually grabbed was this shirt right here. I love the Dreamcast. It's probably it's my second favorite Sega console next to the Master System. Definitely unappreciated system, but the people who do really know about it absolutely love it as well. And this shirt here, it's amazing quality. It fits fantastic. The graphics are amazing. It's actually done by a guy of the name of Don Phillips. He owns his own shop. I have the card right here. It may not focus. Very fair prices. These shirts are really cool, really comfortable, really high quality. I'm actually gonna be going through him for some custom work for my channel for making new t-shirts for it. But yeah, it was a really awesome time, and like I said, Grit Games has everything you can really imagine, from all different types of collectible card games up to board games, as well as crap loads of really cool large variety of games as well. And like I said, anything from Master System up to like Xbox One and PS4 and Wii U. I definitely plan on going back there. I think the week of the 17th and the 22nd off from work. So I'll be going back there to do maybe some pickups, as well as going to another Retro Games Plus and maybe a variety of other stores, and trying to meet up with some local people as well, so they can kind of help bring me on a tour of what stores there are out there, since I'm still a little clueless as to what there is. But yeah, thank you guys very much for all the support. We did hit 100 subscribers this week. Going to be putting a few more videos out this week than normal. To kind of recap the giveaway, send my appreciation to all you guys, because it really means a lot that I was able to get there pretty quick. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell me what you like about my pickup. What do you think is the coolest? As always, thank you very much for watching, and have a great week hunting.